is it? Calm down. What? Who's back?
It's that time of the year again when a new Monster High live-action movie drops, and we're here to talk about Monster High 2 and its ending, which of course follows up the first live-action film about a year ago. This sequel really zooms in on Clawdeen and Draculaura. Clawdeen is trying to step up as the prefect of her high school, going head-to-head with Tori, while Draculaura is dealing with her own stuff, feeling a bit left out, and trying to figure out who she really is. Since it's the spooky season, it seems perfect to dive into the Monster High 2 ending, breaking down all the key details and major moments. And as a bonus, there's a little tease at the end hinting at a third movie, which is super exciting, so we'll get to that too. The movie starts with the main cast in their second year at Monster High. Clawdeen is now kind of a celebrity thanks to saving the school in the previous film. Because she's half human, people are drawn to her, and she's become the symbol of inclusion, even ending human versus monster prejudice in the school. Laguna still has that mysterious vibe, and Clawdeen and Deuce are still dating, though honestly that pairing feels a little off, even though I get that these characters are different from the originals. The big twist this time is Tori's arrival at the school. She's still got her sharp attitude, and she's got this vendetta against witches because of a traumatic incident when a witch once attacked her with Wraith Silver, which is deadly to monsters. This makes her uneasy around Draculaura, who's been practicing witchcraft. At one point, Tori even acts surprised that Draculaura never mentioned this metal to the group, which felt a little off because it's not really Draculaura's responsibility to brief everyone about it. Then we get to the school elections for prefect, which, though they're called elections, seem less like a real vote and more like the school picking winners behind the scenes. Tori and Clawdeen end up competing for the role. Tori's campaign is all about protecting monsters from outside threats, especially witches, while Clawdeen takes a more inclusive approach, trying to bring everyone together. Enter Ellis, a new character who practices witchcraft and is kind of a Draculaura-like vampire. He and Draculaura hit it off immediately, and they even do a duet together, which is probably my favorite song in the movie. Things take a turn when two mysterious cloaked figures break into Draculaura's room. The students correctly guess they're witches, which leads to Headmistress Bloodgood banning witchcraft at Monster High. That causes Tori to gain more influence in the elections, even if the voting process itself is still a bit confusing. Draculaura ends up feeling isolated, especially because even Clawdeen seems to be prioritizing winning votes over supporting her friend. She's encouraged to go along with the ban, which makes her feel even more like an outsider. So feeling left out, Draculaura turns to Ellis, and here's the big reveal. Ellis is actually a human practicing witchcraft, and he invites Draculaura to meet his mother, Queen Zamara, the leader of the Salem Coven. Zamara wants to end the centuries-long war between vampires and witches, and Draculaura heads to the human realm, leaving a note for Clawdeen and Frankie. Naturally, everyone at Monster High is not thrilled about her sudden disappearance. Clawdeen knows she has to bring Draculaura back, partly because Draculaura's dad, Dracula, is coming to celebrate her 1600th birthday, and partly because Clawdeen's campaign is in trouble now that the witches are unpopular. So Clawdeen, Deuce, Frankie, and Heath track Ellis to a company called Coleman Eves, which funnily enough is an anagram for Salem Coven. The company deals in magical herbal concoctions, and it's here that Draculaura meets Zamara and agrees to speak at the Witch Conclave, which is conveniently scheduled on her birthday. The conclave is supposed to end the vampire-witch feud once and for all. Meanwhile, Clawdeen calls her dad to hack the security system, while Clawdeen, Frankie, and Deuce sneak into the Coven's headquarters with the help of a magic beetle Cleo given to Clawdeen, which can detect magic. They eventually locate Draculaura, but she's not interested in coming back, and they even have this big musical number about how this isn't how their story should go, which felt a bit over the top at first. But the song sets the stage for the real tension. If Draculaura doesn't return, she could be expelled. Clawdeen's insistence on bringing Draculaura back is interesting because on one hand, she's trying to do the right thing, but on the other, she's prioritizing her personal goals, keeping her friend nearby for her own sake. Eventually though, she respects Draculaura's decision and leaves her there, heading back to Monster High where the election campaign is in chaos. Then comes the big twist. The whole thing was a setup. Draculaura's been a target of the Salem Coven all along. Samara and her team have been secretly manipulating her, encouraging her to pursue witchcraft, and even orchestrating the initial room raid. Samara needs Draculaura to unlock her full powers at 1,600 years old to carry out a plan to destroy vampires. It's brutal because it's happening on her birthday, and it's all about wiping out her family. Thankfully, the magic beetle alerts Cleo back at Monster High, and Clawdeen, Frankie, Deuce, Heath, and Tori team up to save her. They stage another infiltration. Deuce, Heath, and Tori handle the henchmen, while Clawdeen and Frankie focus on freeing Draculaura from the Wraith Silver Cage. At the critical moment, Ellis has a change of heart, deciding to help stop his mother. Clawdeen, despite the extreme danger, manages to reach Draculaura, breaking the spell and saving her through sheer determination and the power of friendship. Once Draculaura is free, Samara and Draculaura engage in an epic magic battle, while Clawdeen deals with her own brush with the Grim Reaper. Draculaura's dad Dracula eventually arrives, taking down Samara and her crew, and everything settles with Draculaura celebrating her 1,600th birthday. Clawdeen earns her place as prefect, and she and Deuce even share a kiss and a song, wrapping things up nicely. Before the credits, we get a tease that Deuce is leaving for a year-long journey of self-discovery, which is clearly setting the stage for the next movie. Plus, there's a hint with a Grim Reaper going after Frankie, showing that the story is far from over. This cliffhanger is a perfect setup for a third Monster High movie, which, judging by everything, is going to be just as thrilling and fun. On the production side, Mattel is continuing to bring its iconic franchises to the big screen, and the live-action Monster High series is a perfect example of that. Director Gerard Johnstone, who gained recognition with Housebound and the viral hit Megan, is behind the next Monster High project. He's in the early stages, but already has creative freedom from Mattel and Universal to reinterpret the characters however he sees fit, which is super promising. Johnstone has a background in horror comedy, and he's always loved those classic Universal monster characters. So this seems like a great opportunity for him to blend gothic horror vibes with teen drama, bringing a fresh take that fans will likely enjoy. This upcoming Monster High movie comes at a really exciting time for the franchise. The second relaunch, which included the 2 live-action films on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon, has been going well, and the Mattel Films is clearly investing a lot in building out its cinematic universe after Barbie's massive success. Along with Monster High, they're working on a bunch of other adaptations like the Masters of the Universe reboot and the Anthony Ramos-led Bob the Builder film. One of the coolest parts about Johnstone directing Monster High is that he has the freedom to explore and adapt the series in his own way. Given the franchise's huge value, it could have gone the other way with lots of restrictions, but Mattel seems confident in letting him have creative control. It's similar to what Greta Gerwig did with Barbie, which ended up being both critically acclaimed and commercially successful. With Johnstone's track record and his ability to mix genres effectively, there's a lot of reason to be excited about this next chapter in Monster High. It's also interesting to see how Johnstone will handle the classic Universal monster tropes. While some recent adaptations have had mixed results, his previous work shows that he can balance horror and comedy in a way that appeals to modern audiences while still honoring the gothic roots of these characters. This approach could really set his Monster High film apart from other monster-centric movies. Even though the new live-action movie is still in the early stages, everything we know so far points to a promising project. Johnstone seems enthusiastic and ready to put his own spin on the franchise, making it accessible and fun for both longtime fans and newcomers. With the third movie already teased in Monster High 2, there's a clear sense of continuity, and fans can look forward to seeing how the story develops. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.